Yo, what's good, my people? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to bring you my WWE Raw review for March 31st, 2014. And let's get this already kicking off. So, here we go. WWE Raw review, the go home show for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is in full effect. It's time to go. So, before I start talking about anything, I want to tell y'all to go check out the Slam City show. I think I have a friend that works on the show, so check it out. It's a pretty cool little kid show. If you got kids, check it out. But I think it's pretty funny for anybody to watch. They have a few new episodes up, and I really did like it. I thought it was pretty funny. You know, none of the bullshit. Only reason I'm telling you about it is because I'm an animator myself, and you know, when I see funny animation things, I want to share it. So yeah, go check it out. So, as WWE Raw starts, and the first thing you see breaking down the WrestleMania is the Undertaker coming out, and the Undertaker comes to the ring, and he basically hypes himself up, saying how he's beaten down 21 men at WrestleMania, and that he's not better than any of them, or he's not stronger than any of them, but he will take it to a place that none of them will, just to keep his streak going on and just to be what he is at WrestleMania, and that is immortal. He talks about how, you know, it is inevitable for the streak to end one day, but until then, there's only three things that you can't beat: death, taxes, and a streak. And, you know, he goes on to talk about how Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be thinking about beating him, but, you know, thinking about what it's going to take for the Undertaker not to kill him, so shit like that. He also talks about how, you know, he's going to take Brock Lesnar to the peak, and he's going to put him in the middle of the water, and Brock Lesnar's going to try to fight to get back to the shore, but, you know, not a lot of people make it to the shore. Hardly nobody's made it to the shore. What's going to happen is Brock Lesnar's going to be taken down, and Undertaker's going to beat him. So he's basically going on and, you know, talking about the whole thing of how he's basically just the man at WrestleMania, and how he's just going to beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. And I really like this segment from the Undertaker. You know, it wasn't too much. It was still short and sweet to the point. And, you know, he came out and did his thing, did his little vicious talk and everything. And I really like this from the Undertaker. Made him look, you know, just really good right here, and, you know, just still in full effect here. So you get Brock Lesnar, who comes out with Paul Heyman, and they stand on the apron. And you get Paul Heyman, who hypes up Brock Lesnar again, saying how it's not about the Brock Lesnar beating the Undertaker. It's basically about the Undertaker trying not to. It's not about Brock Lesnar trying to win a match. It's about the Undertaker trying not to lose against Brock Lesnar. And he's basically saying how, you know, it's inevitable for Brock Lesnar to beat the Undertaker. So, you know, I just really like the Paul Heyman side of the speech and stuff like that, and just hyping up Brock Lesnar going in and everything. And, you know, saying that how Brock Lesnar is, you know, trying to get his WrestleMania moment. Like how Hulk Hogan had his moment beating Andre Giant at WrestleMania. Another big giant WrestleMania moment is going to be Brock Lesnar beating a streak at WrestleMania, and I really did like that. So after the promo, you get Brock Lesnar, who's moving towards the back, and, you know, trying to say, okay, I'm done with this, I'm done with the crowd, I'm done with all this, I'm ready to leave. He doesn't really do that. He starts moving around the ring, teasing the crowd, or whether or not he's going to get in the ring to fight Undertaker. Undertaker takes off his hoodie and stuff, off his cowl, or whatever you call his trench jacket, or whatever you call that thing. He takes it off, his robe. He takes off his robe, gets ready to fight, and just Brock Lesnar starts walking around the ring and stuff like that, and him and Heyman are walking around trying to intimidate Undertaker. It's not really working, so they do the next best thing. Heyman pushes a chair into the ring, and I was like, right after this, I was like, I hope Heyman does this. I hope he pushes a chair into the ring to distract the Undertaker. It's the only way that can happen. Keep it simple, do that. He pushes a chair into the ring. It distracts the Undertaker. Brock Lesnar goes in, and they start squabbling. Undertaker throws Brock Lesnar to the ropes. Brock Lesnar comes back and just hits Undertaker with a nice clothesline. They start going at it for a minute. Brock Lesnar picks the Undertaker back up, puts him on the shoulder, and hits the F5. So you get Brock Lesnar, who's going crazy, and he just laid out the Undertaker. And I really like this because last week I was talking about how, you know, they needed something for Brock Lesnar to look strong here. And I like that it didn't come over still that, you know, Brock Lesnar just go in there and whoop the Undertaker's ass. It was still, he needed a little bit of help from Paul Heyman, even if it was just a distraction, to get in there and do his thing. And even when he got the distraction, Undertaker was still able to, defend himself a little bit. But you got Brock Lesnar, who came out in the end and still came on top. It wasn't nothing crazy good, but just what it was, I thought it was pretty chill. And you got Brock Lesnar standing on top finally, and going to the WrestleMania, he's the one that looks to be the baddest right now. So, I really like this and stuff like that, and like I said, it's pretty good to me. So next you got your first match of the night, which is Big E Langston, who came out there and put his shirt over a little kid, versus Alberto Del Rio, and these two have a very good physical match. I thought their match was very nice. They were very all over the ring with it. Throwing each other throughout the ropes and the ring post and all that stuff. You had Del Rio, who was working on Big E's arm the whole time and stuff like that. And I thought, they just did a very good job of keeping up great momentum to this match and also fighting each other. It wasn't just always, one guy had the upper hand or something like that. It was a lot of back and forth here, and Alberto Del Rio and Big E really stretched each other. They both played off the hurt parts very well. Big E played off of Alberto Del Rio just working on his arm. He really played that off very well, and just really showed a nice, just work between both of them. But you also had Big E, who really, was very powerful here, while Alberto Del Rio was very technical. And I just thought that, it was just a great match between both. Not a great, but a pretty chill match between both of them. Match came towards the end where you get Alberto Del Rio, who does his little rope stomp off onto Big E. And then a little bit of fighting goes back and forth. But inevitably, Alberto Del Rio gets Big E into the arm bar. Big E brings Alberto Del Rio up after trying once before and ends up slamming Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio tries to get out the ring, and then Alberto Del Rio ends up, after a little bit of fight back, getting his super kick onto Big E and ends up picking up the win. So, as far as this match goes, I thought it was pretty chill. I thought both of them did their thing, and they had a really nice and physical match here. And as far as Alberto Del Rio going over here, I thought, it was a pretty good way of putting off at least one of the heels over as far as the night goes, because I think a lot of heels went over tonight, but at least getting one of the heels over, and getting, especially going into the big 30-man battle royal match, and you got the Ghetto Bird outside, 12 a.m. in the morning, so Compton, that's what it is. But after that, you get your next segment, which was a Total Divas segment, and they basically showed a promo package where you had not a promo package, but a piece from the Total Divas show, where you had Natalya, who goes up to Fandango and starts talking about Summer Rae. Summer Rae goes back to him, and they start talking to each other about what Natalya just said. Summer Rae goes to Natalya's house. They try to, she tries to go there and squash the beef. It doesn't really work. So, I got those out of order. It doesn't really work. So, Summer Rae ends up slapping the shit out of Natalya. So, and Natalya ends up telling Summer Rae to leave. But what I wanted to say with this was that I did watch the show and stuff like that. That's not something I normally do. I don't normally watch Total Divas, but I watched the show because it's going up to WrestleMania, and I wanted to see what they're going to do on the go home, Total Divas episode for WrestleMania. But as far as what this was, having a nice little Total Divas segment where it was some physicality between both girls. You had Summer Rae, who slaps the shit out of Natalya, and just leading everything up there. I like that they did. The next thing was use that to lead into a match. And you get your first Divas match of the night. Like I said, first Divas match of the night. You had two of them tonight, which was Summer Rae versus Natalya. And I have to say, these girls really went in there and they put on a pretty chill little Divas match. They were both physical. You had Summer Rae, who put out a lot of character in this match and did all her, movements and stuff like that, and all her playing around as far as, doing her little dance moves in the ring during the match and stuff. But once everything was getting down, and Summer Rae was doing all her acting and stuff like that, you had Natalya, who came back and really went to physical mode on her and just was doing some nice slams, some nice hits and stuff like that. And after a while, she ends up trying to get Summer Rae into a sharpshooter. Summer Rae ends up kicking herself out of that. Natalya goes in and walks over Summer Rae's back. This moves that she's been doing for a couple weeks now, and ends up getting some more physicality onto her, some more slams, just some very nice movements between there. And Summer Rae knows how to take them well, unlike a lot of other divas. And the match comes to an ending where Summer Rae ends up getting out the ring. Natalya tries to pull her back in. Summer Rae goes for a kick on the outside, hits Natalya in the face, and then gets a pin in the middle of the ring. And you get Summer Rae, who gets the win. So it was a pretty chill Divas match, and not a great amount to it, but it told a good story, and it did exactly what it needed to do. And I thought both of these girls worked well, and it kind of set themselves up as far as just telling more of a story. And I like that we got a chance to see another Divas match, and also that they used the stuff that happened on Total Divas to hype the match up itself. So after that, you get a promo segment with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Let me go to the segment right here. And both of them are on the mic, and they're basically talking about how this is their farewell to the Yes movement. They're also talking about how, Triple H is basically the man, and how, the Yes movement is just a fad. And a lot of dudes came and got the crowd to chant their stuff and their catchphrases, and they talk about how it's so-called quote unquote easy to get the crowd to chant whatever you want, get the crowd behind you. But Triple H was one of the only ones who came in and really dominated, and how it's not because he's not at the top because of his wife. He's at the top because of his dominance. And they went on to show a video package showing different guys who had little things that they did to get the crowd behind them and stuff like that, and how it was Stephanie voiceover in this, and how they were all just still fads and stuff like that. Just they showed Booker T and Chris Jericho, The Miz, and just all type of guys ended up with Daniel Bryan at the end, saying how all these guys are just are really good Hall of Famers, but everything that they did was fads, and it's not as big as Triple H is. And I like that it even shows guys like Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, who's not in the WWE right now, they're at TNA. But I like that it showed them and stuff like that. And then after that, you get the Authority, who gets back in the ring. The thing comes back to the ring, and Triple H is hyping himself up even more, talking more shit about himself, and saying how he's great and stuff. And then you get Batista, who comes out, and Batista comes out, and he's basically talking about how Triple H says that he's better than all these guys, but he still hasn't beaten Batista. And, that's the reason why you don't see Batista on that package and stuff like that. And Batista and Triple H start going back and forth about, the quips against Stephanie and stuff like that, and how Triple H doesn't really need to beat him, and he's still better than Batista and stuff like that, and he's still going to win a title and all that things. You get Randy Orton, who comes out and just basically goes into kiss-ass mode and just basically starts saying, oh, Triple H, I respect you and everything, but I plead you not to get in the match. I would love you in a match, but it's not a good look for you, basically. Triple H basically says to him, stop ass kissing and stuff. And it basically ends with, Triple H saying, I'm putting you guys in a match tonight. It's going to be a DQ. I want to see the Viper. I haven't seen a Viper at all. Where's that guy yet? Maybe that guy is the one who can probably beat me and be, the one who I want to be champion. But because none of y'all are capable to be a champion, I'm going to be champion. So, I thought it was a good promo here between all those guys, and you had them two stand off at the end, and I thought, everything here was fine. It wasn't too great and stuff like that, but I thought it was pretty good for what it was, and, especially for a go-home show promo, and I thought these guys did well. So after that, you get your next match was a 8-man tag match, which was the Usos and the Los Matadors versus Rybacks on the Real Americans. And I thought this match here was very physical. Another very physical match, a hard-hitting match. These guys were throwing some elbows and slaps and chops at each other that just looked tough. And, they just had a very good match here. Let's get down to some of these pictures. So, like I said, they were just going very physical. You had a couple kicks in here that was just vicious going right back. So, they were just some real vicious kicks here. So, the match come towards the middle where you get Cesaro who tries to get a big swing onto one of the Los Matadors, but they end up flipping him to the outside. You get one of the Los Matadors who ends up getting into an ankle lock by Jack Swagger, but gets out, and while they're on the side, um, the Los Matadors do twin magic and basically ends up getting the pin on Jack Swagger after, the clean guy gets in. You get the Real Americans who try to argue the case, but the referee's like, it already happened. There's nothing I can do about it. And you get the Los Matadors and the Usos who cheer off after that. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty physical match, and I like the fact that, it was a little bit different for the male guys with, the Los Matadors actually using twin magic here. So, I liked it for what it was. And I thought the match was very physical, and I thought it was a pretty good match here. So after that, you get Cody Rhodes versus Goldust. Cody Rhodes versus Goldust. Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Damian Sandow and Fandango. Is pretty late, guys, so I'm gonna fuck up a little couple times here. But these two groups had a okay match here. The crowd kind of died down here, and they really wasn't crazy into everything. But I still thought that they had a pretty good match here and a pretty okay match here, and both of the guys were physical, as much physical as they could have been. Towards the end of the match, you get Goldust who kind of takes over. Cody Rhodes ends up hitting a splash off the ropes on the outside onto Fandango. Then Goldust hits the final cut and picks up the win here. So like I said, it's a pretty okay match here, and especially setting these guys up going into WrestleMania and kind of still playing the whole thing of Fandango and just Fandango and Damian Sandow still having hard times in the WWE right now, but the Rhodes brothers still kind of living off a little bit of prosperity. So after that, you get a Wyatt family promo, and let's see if I can find that real quick. I remember basically what they were talking about, but you got a Wyatt family promo a little bit earlier than that, and the Wyatt family is basically just still going at Cena and stuff like that, and talking about how Cena is supposed to be this monster, and it's supposed to be this great guy, but he is a monster, and people will finally see him for the monster that he is, and basically somebody that is selfish and stuff like that, and the Wyatt family will expose him for who he is, and they were doing their little singing and stuff like that, and just a really good promo. I don't remember everything from the promo right now, but it was a pretty good promo. I really liked what they were doing right there. So after that, you get a match between R-Truth and Bray Wyatt, and you got the Wyatt family on the outside. And this was basically just the Bray Wyatt show. You had Bray Wyatt just going and beating the living shit out of R-Truth. R-Truth got a little bit of offense here, but Bray Wyatt was just on him, hands and feet on him, and just basically was squashing the shit out of R-Truth. Towards the end of the match, where you got I think I got my pictures out a little bit here. So towards the end of the match, where you get Bray Wyatt who starts doing his thing, ends up hitting his sister Abigail onto R-Truth and picks up the win. And you get Xavier Woods who comes in the ring, tries to save R-Truth, but ends up getting his ass whipped too, and they push him off the ring. And I was just like, man, what the fuck he got in the ring for? That was dumb, but he got his ass whipped anyway for it. So after that, you get the Wyatt family who are sitting there celebrating. And you get a masked guy comes in with a lab mask and just stands near them. Bray Wyatt turns around and tries to see what the fuck is going on, and they just like, hold on, what the fuck is this? And the guy takes off the mask, and it's John Cena. And they basically try to attack him, but Bray Wyatt ends up sneaking away, and you get John Cena who's cheering in the ring, and Bray Wyatt who's on a ramp kind of showing a little bit of like, okay, what the fuck just happened, but also trying to keep his face on, saying, okay, good one, Cena. I'm gonna fuck you up now, like that. So after the whole match thing, you got Cena who cut a very good promo, basically saying, the whole thing about fear is that yes, I'm afraid, but I'm gonna conquer my fears and beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. So the whole match, the whole segment, the whole little Cena thing after the ending, and the whole promo with Cena at the ending, and the Bray Wyatt promo and before that was very good. Like I said, the match probably went on a little bit too long for a squash match. I think they could have cut it like a minute and a half or probably a little bit more. But as far as everything else goes, I thought it was very good. And I love seeing Cena, try a little bit of something different as far as, a good way of tricking everybody as far as, coming up in the last lamb mask and trying to scare the Wyatts and stuff like that, and they got the crowd hype and everything, and then he cut a good promo at the end, and the Wyatts cut a good promo at the beginning. So I thought everything here was just very good, and just a great little scene in a great segment. So after that, you get a Divas match, which is Naomi versus AJ Lee, and you finally hear what type of match is going to be at WrestleMania with the Divas, and it's going to be a one fall Victory Girl Invitational. So basically, all the girls going to be in the ring, and it's whoever gets that one fall wins the belt. I guess so. I don't know exactly how that's going to happen. That sounds like a clusterfuck of a type of match. Hopefully, these girls can make it work. So I don't know. It sounds like a way just to get them on TV and bring it home whenever they can get that one fall. I don't know. So I hope these girls can make it work. But as far as this match goes, it was pretty mediocre. I thought these girls were physical in the match, and I thought they did exactly what they needed to do. But the crowd really wasn't into it at all. They were dead silent through the whole match. Or they were just like buzzing through the whole match. You hear the crowd like just talking to each other. They weren't really into the match at all. But you had all the divas on the outside of the ring, and every time AJ Lee got on the outside, they pushed her and threw her back in and stuff like that. When Naomi got on the outside, they let her go back in, and the girls still had a pretty physical match. I thought once towards the end of the match, they were going to beat up on AJ Lee and push her again, but Tamina came to the rescue, and they basically beat up on Tamina. So I like how it showed that, Tamina still has a little bit of like for AJ Lee because they have been together all this time, and she don't want to see the other girls beat down on her. But the other girls aren't going to take that, and they are going to do what they need to do here. And AJ Lee ends up getting thrown back into the ring and getting hit with the rear view, and Naomi picks up the win. And that's how it goes going into WrestleMania for the Divas. Like I said, they had a good match earlier, so I kind of gave them some leeway here. But it's hard to do anything when a crowd is not really into you right now. And I thought, with Naomi back here and AJ Lee there, I thought they could have probably put on a better match than this. But it was what it was. And you had Naomi here without the eye patch here, so I'm interested to see what they can do at WrestleMania and stuff like that. But as far as that goes with this match, I thought it was okay. So after that, you got your match between Kane and the person WWE picked for the app on who was going to fight Kane out of the Shield, and it was Roman Reigns. Earlier in the night, you got a promo with the Shield, and they basically came on and talked about how, what they talk about? Oh, about how the New Age Outlaws are like the old era and stuff like that, and they're basically going to beat the shit out of the New Age Outlaws, and they're going to show them that the fist is the new symbol of justice and the new symbol of the WWE type thing. I thought it was a pretty good promo for what it was. But as far as this match goes, you had Kane who was on the offense a lot of the time in this match, and he was doing a lot of just beating down on Roman Reigns as much as he could. He tries to go for a choke slam. Roman Reigns fends it off, and then Roman Reigns goes to work and just start beating the shot at Kane all those spots that he could, going for everything that he could. You had the New Age Outlaws who came out to try to help, and towards the end of the match, but the other Shield members came and beat them down and got into the ring, and they all surrounded Kane, then went for the beatdown, and they ended up catching the DQ off of this, but Kane and the New Age Outlaws started coming back a little bit. The New Age Outlaws tried to get in the ring and protect Kane, but they ended up getting thrown out themselves. Then Shield tried to bring up Kane for the triple power bomb, but the New Age Outlaws end up getting him out of the ring, and they all stand off and have a big stare down with each other. And as far as this match goes, I thought it was pretty chill. Like I said, nothing really tonight was I don't think nothing was mediocre for me. I thought everything was pretty good to really good. This match I liked. It didn't feel slow or anything. Usually Kane matches feel very slow to me, but I thought it felt quick enough, and it was like they was getting in and out and stuff like that. So I really like this, and it's interesting to see what they're going to do next for these guys at WrestleMania and how this match is going to go. They're kind of building it up as the Attitude Era versus the Reality Era guys. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this, and hopefully, the New Age Outlaws and Kane can hold up with these guys, because the Shield right now are beasts, and they're going to go on and do their thing. So after that, you get Roddy Piper. This is going to be a long review. You get Roddy Piper, who comes out and he basically starts talking about how, his achievements, and saying how he was in the main event at the first WrestleMania, but he didn't get pinned against Mr. T and stuff like that, and how another big thing at WrestleMania was Andre the Giant, how this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is a big thing for the company and a big thing for WrestleMania, and how the guy who wins this is going to basically be, a top guy because he's winning something about the Andre the Giant and stuff like that. So as far as his promo goes here, I thought it was pretty good. It was classic Piper here. Gotta stop saying he came out. He was out there, and while he was talking, you get himself who gets interrupted, and that's when you get the Miz who comes out, and the Miz is basically talking about how he's going to win the Battle Royal. Then you get Sheamus who comes out and talk about how he's going to win the Battle Royal. Then you get Titus O'Neil who comes out and talk about he's going to win the Battle Royal. Then you get Ziggler who comes out and talk about, you get the idea how he's going to win the Battle Royal, and you get what's his name, Piper, who gets ready and says, you know what, fuck it, this is how this goes, I know how this is going to end, and he pokes the Miz in the eyes and says, I'm going to get this started. So you get all the guys who starts fighting, and they all start squabbling with each other. You get Rey Mysterio who comes out to a big pop, and he starts beating down everybody. Actually, him and Sin Cara kind of gets into it, so that was interesting to see, and he does a 619 onto Sin Cara. Then you get the Big Show who comes out and just starts clearing house. The guys try to beat down on him, but he does what he does. He basically throws everybody off. You get a gang of guys who come out there, gang of guys who come out there and basically try to fend off and try to get themselves up for this. And surprisingly, you even get Zack Ryder who comes out there and gets himself a little Raw moment before WrestleMania. Big Show ends up chokeslamming both him and Dolph Ziggler for their troubles. So after that, you get everybody else gets thrown out of the ring, and you get what's his name, Rey Mysterio and Big Show, who kind of have a stare down, and Rey Mysterio starts praying to Big Show not to beat him up, but Rey Mysterio ends up going for a 619 on the Big Show. I think he hit him in the abdomen or the nuts, and Rey Mysterio, once he does that, Big Show just says fuck it and gets him up and throws him out of the ring and throws him onto the guys, and then you get him and Piper who cheers, and this is basically the guy that Piper was trying to hype up for the night, saying that this is the guy he thinks is going to win the Battle Royal. So I'll give my predictions on Friday Night SmackDown and say who I'm thinking is going to win each match, but as far as this goes, I thought it was a pretty chill segment, and I like seeing old guys like Piper back there, especially back there hyping up the new guys and hyping up a match like he did here. So next, you get your main events, which is Batista versus Randy Orton, and you had the Authority at the ringside. And just a little thing here, I liked when the Authority were coming out there, and you had the King trying to say, Stephanie, come sit with me, and Triple H goes, what am I, chopped liver? So I like that little part right there, and I thought it was a little funny thing right there. But as far as this match goes, you had a very physical match between both of these guys. It started off with, just them going at each other, but, they started bringing in the whole no DQ aspect and hitting each other with the chairs and stuff like that, and just, throwing each other around the ring and shit. You had at one point Randy Orton who hits Batista with a chair on the outside, but it was funny because you could see, there's some little kids on the other side, and he kind of hit the chair but didn't see the little kids was that close to him, and he was afterwards move back, motherfuckers. So I really liked his here, and both of them was very physical here, and Batista was getting a little winded here and there, but he kind of stayed with Randy Orton and had a nice little match between both of them. So they all, both of them kind of hits their signature moves and getting ready to hit their finishers and stuff like that, but before anything could happen, you get Randy Orton who starts hitting Batista with a kendo stick, and they, like I said, they're just going all through each other and stuff like that, and just hitting all their moves and stuff on each other. But before anything else can happen in the match, you get Daniel Bryan who runs onto the announcer table from the crowd and attacks Triple H and just starts beating the shit out of Triple H, throwing him into everything he could. Randy Orton tries to help, but he starts fucking up Randy Orton too. But he's just fucking up Triple H, throwing him in everything. Daniel Bryan gets into the ring, starts kicking and shit on Batista, and then ends up doing a dive on Triple H and just throwing Triple H everywhere. He ends up picking up a kendo stick at one point and just starts beating the shit out of Triple H, and Triple H trying to get into the ring, but Daniel Bryan's whooping his ass with the kendo stick, and I was just dying at this point. I was dying through the whole little beatdown segment because the way Triple H was selling it was just funny as hell to me. He was just like, it looked like Triple H was trying to get the fuck away from this ass whooping, and I was just dying through this whole part. So, yeah, I thought it was just a pretty good beat down here, and just Daniel Bryan going at Triple H and just beating the shit out of Triple H. You get towards the end of the match, towards the end of the segment, you get Daniel Bryan who hits a flying knee on the Triple H and kicks Randy Orton out the ring, and then you get Daniel Bryan who stands up tall against Triple H, and that's the way the show ends. Daniel Bryan on top, Triple H on the outside, shaking and quivering, and Stephanie saying this is going to end at WrestleMania. And Daniel Bryan just cheering with the crowd, and just spent the whole backstage segment cheering with the crowd and stuff like that. And they was talking. He did cut a nice promo during the backstage thing on the network, and was just saying, how it's taken him a long time to get here. He wasn't going to go away. He wasn't going to be sent anywhere for the night. He was going to be here, and this is exactly what he wanted to do. So, as far as this goes, man, I really did like tonight's show. It wasn't the greatest of shows, but as far as hyping me up for this weekend's WrestleMania, it did exactly what it needs to do. I'm sorry about the dogs barking, but if you watch my other videos, they've been there, and my neighbors won't control their fucking dogs. But this was a very good hype up to WrestleMania, and it did, like I said, it did exactly what it needed to do to get you ready for WrestleMania. Every single match for WrestleMania was highlighted here. I thought the main matches were very well handled. The whole John Cena and Bray Wyatt match was handled very well here. The main event matches were handled well here. The Undertaker matches were done well here. The Shield matches, the triple threat, triple threat match, the tag team match, and the Divas matches were, pretty well to very well handled on here. And if I had to grade the show tonight, I would give it an A-. There were some hiccups during the show, but I thought everything was very well done here, and especially going off of last week where I thought that some of the matches were were a lot too quick, and they weren't hard hitting enough. This right here was a great way to go into WrestleMania, and I really did like tonight's show a lot. And I never really felt bored through here. Even when my computer was messing up, I was like, okay, let's go, computer, get on. I want to see the rest of this. I was cool through all 3 hours. So as far as this goes, I liked tonight, and I thought it was a very good night, and A-. I took a couple points off because some things weren't really that great, but I still think it deserves an A. So, comment, subscribe. I know this is a long video. If you don't watch the whole video, thank you for watching that much ever you watched. For my SmackDown review, I will continue to review NXT and main event for as long as I continue watching those shows. If I get tired of watching so much wrestling, then I'll probably only review either whatever shows are, the best shows that I want to watch, or whatever stuff like that. I may end up just reviewing NXT and not SmackDown, or I may just review NXT and main event and not SmackDown, since sometimes SmackDown is kind of viewed as the B show and it's not really giving that much great stuff. But yeah, like I said, thank you for watching. Hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on anywhere. My contacts are down below, and peace.